Hello and welcome to Castle's Corner. I'm Coach Castle. It's my good friend Jackie. We got some more questions and hopefully I got some answers. Hopefully. We'll see.
I'm sure you do.
What do you got for me, baby?
Okay, so what do you recommend for a warm-up before weight training?
It would depend on the weight training.
Okay.
So you'll need to forgive me, everybody, but most of the answers I give will come with contingencies and so on. Everybody is so unique and different. You have to understand, everybody is so different. Some people go to the gym to lose weight. Some people go to the gym to build muscle. Some people go to the gym to look pretty. Some people go to the gym for sport-specific training. I talk about that all the time because anything that is sport-specific is very unique to what you're trying to accomplish. If you're a basketball player, you should not be doing deadlifts, for example. You have no reason to be doing that. If you're a baseball player, you have absolutely no reason to be doing heavy bench presses. It just doesn't make any sense. So I will address this as the average person going to the gym, either trying to build muscle or lose weight.
Yes.
We'll address it that way.
Yes.
Standard warm-up for me, I like to do a walk before I train. It's usually a treadmill or outside. Nothing crazy. I do mean walk as in literally walk. I don't mean like speed walk like a Sasquatch through the forest. I mean just walk. And the reason I do that is for two reasons. One, it allows me to select my music. It gets me in the zone. It allows me time to think about what I'm about to do in the gym, what exercises, how many reps, how many sets, the order I'll be going from one to the next. I know we're talking about warm-up and it actually sounds like I'm not talking about that yet, but this is actually more important than the next step I'm going to tell you. This visualization that I'm talking about, this actually planning in your head step by step what will be occurring next and how you will be doing it. Mm-hmm. Not only does it make you more efficient at doing it, of course you save time because you know exactly the steps you're going to take, but also it's really good because it primes your body. You're like, okay, well I know I'm about to do cable crossovers. I know following that I'll be doing rear delt pulls. I know as soon as I'm done that, and it's so much better. It's peace of mind. There's no distractions. You can just shut everything off, focus on the workout, and just get into it. So anyways, after my walk, kind of jamming out to my music, thinking about everything, the next thing is you're going to go ahead and you're going to go in there and say you have 4 exercises planned for the day. You're going to go ahead and do each and every single one of those exercises exactly the way you will be doing it during your working sets, but you'll be doing it with a really light weight.
Okay.
So when I say really light weight, again, it will depend on the individual. I can't say 5 pounds is a light weight for everybody.
So can I give you an example?
Yeah, please.
If I do use 10 pounds for bicep curls, what should I do for a warm-up?
Oh, as a working set, you use 10 pounds?
Yes.
So as a warm-up, I would use probably 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very light, very light.
Okay.
So 10 pounds is good. Let's do a percentages game.
Okay.
So if 10 pounds is 100%, that's very easy math for everybody.
Yeah.
100% is 10 pounds, and you do that for 10 reps. That's your max. It's definitely not, but that's your max.
Okay.
You would do, say, 2 or 3 pounds. Let's take that down to 20 or 30%. And you do that 50 or 60 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know that seems like a lot, but here's what you're doing when you do it that 50 or 60 times. You're doing no muscle damage. You're not damaging the muscle. What you are doing is practicing the movement correctly. Mm-hmm. You call it greasing the groove. You're going to turn yourself into a machine. So when you do pick up the weight, 10 pounds, which would be heavy in this case, you won't just be mindlessly moving it. You'll be swinging it, curling it, flexing it, slowly lowering it. You will already have blood in the tissues. You'll already have nutrients in the tissues immediately available to start repairing as soon as the workout is over with. It's just a much better way to do it. So say you're doing a chest day. Chest day, you're going to be doing a decline cable press and 2 variations of that. You'll be doing your lat pulls and you'll be doing your scapula pulls for your back, chest and back day.
Okay.
And so, like we do, you'll literally just go through every exercise before you begin, spend 5 to 6 minutes per exercise, lightweight, repping out, 50, 60, I mean, I go a little excessive, I go higher. I like the practice. Mm-hmm. Weight training is not throwing weights around wildly. I mean, this is a thing I say all the time, but when I say wildly, I mean if you cannot control it, it's too heavy. What is not being able to control it? Not being able to control it means that when it's time to put it down, you have to drop it, or you drop it really fast. When you're curling it, your levers move out of the position that they're supposed to be, ergo it's too heavy. Ergo, lower the damn weight, get rid of your ego, lower the weight. The mark of somebody who's been training for a long time is that they actually use lighter weights than you would expect, and it looks really goddamn hard when they do it.
Yeah.
You holding a pair of 10-pound dumbbells, and me holding a pair of 10-pound dumbbells, and we're both doing bicep curls, I can make that 10 pounds feel so goddamn heavy. I will get so much more out of that 10 pounds because I know how to correctly apply it than somebody else who just comes over, grabs the things, and starts. You could do that all day.
Yeah, you see the momentum.
You can do it all day. Literally, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like, I don't understand why people think that they're actually doing things when they do that. Well, I know why. It's an emotional attachment to other people training that, oh, well, that's what I need to do, but it's silly. But anyway, so whatever exercises you will be doing, and sport specific to a degree as well, you will literally just do them in either a slower fashion, in a practice way, or you could do them kind of fast for a pump set. But at the same time, if you'll be doing that, it will be done with full range of motion. It must be. Full range of motion will always be superior to partial. Always. Full range of motion will always be superior to partial. Partial will always be superior to isometric.
Okay.
That's just the way it is. So when you'll be doing a movement, the best possible thing you could do before you perform the exercise is to practice that particular movement. So your mind is in the right place, your body knows exactly what to do, you're primed and you're ready to go. If you're running, I like to warm up with a jog.
Okay.
I mean, if and again, that's me personally. There's other things you can do, but for me, that's how I like to get ready for a run, is I do a quick jog. If I'm running 5 miles, I jog a mile before I start. Does that mean my entire exercise is 6 miles? Yes, but the first one is really just me practicing my footwork. I'm making sure my knees are coming up. I'm making sure my breathing is correct. I'm making sure all my cues are in order. So when I do my run, it's already ingrained in me. I'm smooth and I'm streamlined. I'm ready to go. Whereas if I just put my shoes on and then I go out the front door and I just start running, you can imagine the damage I'll be doing to myself. You know what I mean? So, I mean, does that answer? Do you want me to keep going?
No. That's good. Let's move on. Okay. So we talk about a lot about reps and sets. Like before we worked out together, I went into the gym saying, okay, I'm going to get 3 sets, 12 reps each time, and that's it. And then you always taught me about failure, which I never really did. I felt, okay, I got my 12, and I feel the burn. This is a good workout. Then you taught me to go till failure. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean,
it's a whole different workout.
Well, before we even get into that, I'd like to point out you've had personal trainers before.
Yes.
But let's not name names.
No names.
But let's say you've had personal trainers before.
Yeah.
And is it fair to say that you've had more than one, obviously?
Yeah. And I had 3 other trainers before.
And is it fair to say that I don't say anything that they say?
No.
Literally, nothing. We agree on nothing, right?
Completely different, yeah.
That's pretty weird, right? That I completely disagree with 3 trainers, and yet you only get the results with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like to point that out.
Yes, no, it's true.
All right, so moving on to the failure. So try to keep this simple as I can. If you're exercising a muscle, there is a certain range you need to keep your reps. But that range for your reps, it only applies when the last rep is failure. People don't understand that.
No.
So when they see a workout plan, most people see a workout plan and it says a bicep curl, 3 sets of 10. So, but that's actually not a bad plan. That's a good plan. The problem is they don't know how to do a bicep curl, number 1. And number 2, they don't know how to select the weight. And number 3, they don't know what failure is.
Right, exactly.
So, before you met me, you would see the bicep curl, 3 sets for 10. Right. You'd go pick up, in your case, 15 pounds probably? 10 pounds? What did you do?
Back then, like 10.
10 pounds? Back then, 10 pounds?
8.
8?
Probably 8,
Jesus.
yeah.
Okay, so, well, you'd go get 8 pounds, and you would do 3 sets of 10, and you'd put it down, and you'd feel real good about yourself, and you'd leave. I would have the same plan, and I would look at it, and I would go pick up, and I'm obviously larger than her with bigger levers and bigger muscle. I've been training, correctly longer. So
Just a little larger.
And a man, so I have advantages, but even so, even in my case, I would go pick up probably 30-pound dumbbells, and I would do 10 reps. But that last rep that I performed, it would feel like somebody had a gun to my head, and if I didn't finish that rep, they were going to shoot me. And the entire rep would be so painful that I would feel like my muscles were being torn off the bone. That is what the last rep should feel like. It should be almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously don't see people doing that. And if they are doing that and they think they're training to failure, it's a whole lot of momentum and swinging.
Yes.
True failure training is just that, 3 sets to 10 bicep curl. However, the bicep curl must be done perfectly each rep. The problem is as people approach failure, they get sloppy.
Yeah.
Very sloppy. They use everything. And then you're completely defeating the purpose. I tell people all the time, I said, listen, I only need your focus for the next 50 seconds. You have to focus as intently as you can to give me 10 reps of maximum effort and deal with the pain. But it's only 50 seconds. And most people just can't take it. It's just the way it is. People just don't like to deal with the pain. I don't know what it is. I love getting uncomfortable because I know it equals growth.
Right.
I think in most people's case, they simply don't understand what failure training is. They don't understand that you actually have to make the muscle become uncomfortable. You have to do something you haven't done before to get a result you haven't had before. I've seen people go to the gym and their weights don't change for weeks. They'll be doing bicep curls. I mean, we see the same people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them for 2 years, and they're still doing the same weight with the squats, with this bicep curl. They're doing the same exact weight. They look exactly the same. It's been years.
Yeah.
These people have trainers. They look the same. It's real simple. They could change all of that if they just changed their mindset and said, hey, I need to do something I haven't done before.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, the only way you can know if you've done something you haven't done before is you have to track it. You have to write your workouts down. So if you say, this week I got 10 reps with 10-pound bicep curls for 3 sets, which, by the way, if you're training to failure, it'll be more like 10 reps and then 10 reps and either 9 or 8 reps the last set. That's usually how it goes. You can't consecutively get the same number of reps. Your muscle, and if you are, you're not training to failure. Because as soon as your muscle is damaged to a certain point, it won't get more reps after that point. So it doesn't matter how many sets you do, it won't suddenly recover, and I mean, So, to summarize, and everybody knows this, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. That obviously applies to the weight room as much as anything else. If you have a personal trainer and your body's not changing every week, get a new personal trainer. No, don't be emotionally attached to them just because you've worked with them for a long time. Don't get emotional about it. It's your life. You have goals. They're not helping. Get a new one. It's no hard feelings, because if you were giving somebody money to help you and you're not getting results, get a new trainer. Or change your mindset. The problem might be you. You might not be doing what they're telling you to. That is also a very likely case. I have no idea how many people I give the perfect advice to. I say, here, follow this, everything's going to be great. I check in with them a week later. I said, hey, how's it going? They said, I haven't done anything yet. I said, why not? Whatever reason. I said, okay, well, try it and get back to me in a week. Yeah. And they get back to me in a week. They said, well, I did it 2 days, and I didn't have any results. I said, I could have sworn I said to do these exact things for 7 days. And by the way, these are 10-minute things, people. 5, 10, 15-minute things. We're not talking crazy shit here. And they won't do it. Yeah. And I say, listen, I cannot help somebody who will not help themselves. So check your attitude. Might be your attitude. You might be the problem. If somebody's telling you what to do and you're not following exactly what they're telling you to do and you're not getting results, that's on you, especially if you're paying the person. That is on you.
Can you just talk a little bit, because it's not on my questions, but we talked about failure, the the mind-muscle connection,
Mhm.
because you say that a lot,
I do.
and it makes a big difference.
Hmm?
A lot of it is psychological.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a complicated one to get into. Okay, so once again, trying to keep it simple. Mind-muscle connection, very simple, is how much you're able to feel the muscle. I mean, that's really it, is how much you're able to physically put, if you were to close your eyes, let's just stick with bicep curl. If you were to close your eyes and you keep doing bicep curls, you should be able to feel the muscles squeezing, contracting, getting tight at the end, slowly loosening. You should be able to feel all of that. And by the way, the only way you're going to feel all of that is if you're doing the exercise correctly.
Right.
This is a huge fallacy of not only average people in the gym, but also bodybuilders and other sports. I always go to bodybuilders, it's not a bodybuilder, but in other sports as well, is real simple. They always say things like, I like this exercise because I feel it better here. And it drives me crazy when I say that, because if you like an exercise because you can feel the squeeze better, that does not mean it's a superior exercise. This kind of has to go hand in hand with the pump.
Mm-hmm.
So people have a really big confusion about this, and I understand why. It's because of the movie Pumping Iron with Arnold, and Arnold compares getting a pump to coming. He's like, oh, you know, it's like every time I get a pump, I think he says, every time I get a pump, it feels like I'm coming. So I'm in the gym all day, it feels like I'm coming all day. You can imagine I'm in heaven. He says something along those lines.
Okay. I never
So
heard of that.
so many people have seen this, and they've seen other people talking about this on YouTube, that you have to get a pump to grow the muscle, you have to get a pump to grow the muscle. It's simply not true, and I'll explain it real simple. If I was to take 2 5-pound dumbbells, and I was to do 100 as fast as I could bicep curls, I would have a tremendous pump. My arms would be so full of blood, I wouldn't be able to bend my arm.
Mm.
Does that mean I damaged the muscle enough to grow it? Did I provide it with any stimulus to grow more fibers? No, but I did push a lot of blood into the muscle fibers. I did that, but that's about it.
Very short term.
Yeah, I mean, if people doing bench press, they always say, yeah, but when I do bench press, I get a good pump in my chest. I said, I understand that, but it is not an exercise for the chest you should be performing. It's not even a good, it's not even the top 5 exercises for chest.
Yeah.
I don't know why, again, it's an emotional attachment to training. Just because you get a pump with an exercise does not mean you're growing it. All you're doing is pushing blood in there. I understand that is important for recovery, to remove lactic acid. I know it's important to put nutrients in there. However, if you go to the gym and all you do is pump sets, you will not grow. And I can tell you this, by the way, because I tried this for a full year. I only did pump workouts. And you know what happened to me? I got smaller than I've ever been. I don't mean leaner. I mean I lost muscle mass. That's what I mean. I mean I lost muscle mass. Yes. So no, do not do those things. You can believe me. I did it myself for a year. Try it yourself if you don't believe me. But no. Getting a mind-muscle connection is physically feeling your muscles operate. It's being aware of the connection your muscles have to the levers, the bones that are operating. Being aware of that, actively putting your mind, your concentration on that one particular aspect, and then making sure that you squeeze every drop out of it. I like to think of I sweat a lot when I work out. I kill myself. So I got a workout towel. I always imagine that the towel is literally soaking wet, and that's my muscle. And it's my job to squeeze every drop out of that. And when I'm doing my workouts, I'm like, there's still a drop left. If I have any movement when I'm still going, if I have even a little bit of movement, I have not completed my job. But I'm so intently focused on the muscle, my house could be on fire. I wouldn't have any idea my house was on fire.
But it's focus.
But it's intense focus. It's a flow state.
And we see it a lot in the gym. A lot of people don't go in with that mindset.
No, not at all.
Socializing,
they're
doing
talking,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's all this distraction.
No.
And it's hard sometimes to stay focused when people are walking by you and trying to talk to you.
You know that's let's actually talk. This doesn't really, it relates to weightlifting, but it's kind of a little bit of a separate stuff. Let's talk about that real quick. People have this tremendous fear of isolating themselves. Now, when I say isolating, I don't mean shut yourself in a cave for a month. I mean isolating is in just spending 3 or 4 hours a day with no contact from other people and without looking at your phone or the computer or any, you know what I'm talking about, people, any of that shit.
Yeah.
It's real simple. The first 4 hours of my morning, I don't look at my phone. I can't, because if I was to look at my phone, it would immediately distract me from all of the things that require my attention. It's one of the main reasons I wake up early in the morning is because I can get everything done before the world is awake. I have complete focus because there is nothing open. No one is awake. I don't need to look at my phone. If somebody died, it can wait till I've done my workout. I'm not interested. It's fine. Okay, the whole world operated for millennia without cell phones. We will be just fine.
Yep.
When you first met me, and I mean to this day, when you saw me for about a year going to the gym before we spoke, I think?
Yeah.
Do you know why you saw me for a year going to the gym before we spoke? It's because I had a hoodie on, I had big headphones on,
you didn't socialize
baggy
with anyone.
pants, you couldn't see anything, you couldn't see my face, absolutely nothing.
Right.
And I would simply go in there, do my work, under an hour, in and out.
Yeah.
I don't think I spoke to anyone in that gym for about a year, minus something like, please move, or are you done? That's about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you're going to the gym, and you're actually going there to improve yourself, you should be going there to improve yourself.
Right.
Don't go there to waste time. Don't go there to socialize.
Right.
Don't go there to chat. And by the way,
I mean, and if that's what you want to do, then fine, but don't expect that you're going to get results.
Yeah,
if
don't-
it's just
don't have that.
you
Don't
know,
have that
if you're
weird
using it for
mentality.
social.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do.
I don't
They use it
understand.
as their social outlet, which is fine, but
It's like if I went to
You're
a
not-
bar and started doing push-ups. I mean, I don't get it. You know, like why are you bringing that in my gym? I'm serious. Why are you bringing that in my gym? Well, that's why I had to get my own gym because I was sick of it. I couldn't stand it.
yeah, but that's what it's just focus is the main thing. You have to focus on that muscle that you're working, and that makes a big difference.
You cannot
really
be
does.
you cannot be distracted. And
Yeah.
people just, look at me. I'm in the gym. If I see somebody posting a picture of themselves
Oh, I
in the gym,
know. A lot of the selfies.
oh my God! It's like you are clearly not working.
Yeah.
You're just very clearly not doing anything if you're able
Yeah.
to do that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have no focus. Every time you pull your phone out, you've literally just completely destroyed whatever focus you have.
Yeah.
It's all gone now. It's all gone now. And you're going to have intensity for the next set? I don't think so.
You're not in the right mind frame.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Next
Okay.
question.
Okay, so we go back. When should one increase the weights? We talked about failure. How
Well,
many reps?
that's actually very easy. Now that we've discussed failure and reps, we'll elaborate on this later on a bit. But when it comes time to increase the reps, or I'm sorry, not the reps, the weights, I apologize. Comes time to increase the weight, it's real simple. If you're tracking your progress, which by the way is non-negotiable, I don't think there's a single person listening to this, or who will probably ever listen to this, that has a perfect recall. And even if you have a perfect recall, you shouldn't trust it. You just shouldn't. I have a terrible memory. I mean, I think I have a good memory, but it's also bad, and that's why I write every single thing down. Not just my workouts, but I write everything down. Because if I don't, I won't do it. Or I'll forget about it, or it'll become secondary, or worse, tertiary, you know? If you're doing your bicep curls, 3 sets of 10, let's just say it's 10, 10, 8, like we said earlier, and you're failing on 8, that's your 3 sets. Next week, real simple, you must do 10, 10, 9. You must. And if you don't, you have to check your diet, you have to check your sleep, and you have to check your supplements. Yeah. And if your weights are not increasing every week, you need to check that stuff. Yeah. You should always be increasing. Always. There's no reason you shouldn't be.
And we're not talking huge.
We're talking one rep.
Just like, yeah.
And that is not a cheat rep. That is a strict form, correct rep. And the only way you know you're doing that is, again, if you train to failure. Right. If you don't train to failure, you can always make it. You can always do it, of course, if you don't train to failure. If you train to failure, you get the real numbers, you get the real results.
But we want to stay within like the 10 to 12.
I'm about to get to that.
Oh, sorry.
So this will depend on your training style. If you are more of a power lifter, there are different strategies, but let's go with the basic one.
Okay.
Basic strategy for power lifters is called 5x5. 5x5, let's say you're doing the bench press. They will put enough weight that they're able to do 5 reps. and then they will do 5 reps for 5 sets. And they will do that for a period of weeks until the weight feels very easy for them.
Okay.
When those 5 sets of 5 reps is easy and they have no trouble doing it, they increase the weight a little bit. Not a lot,
Okay.
a little bit. And then they do the same thing, 5 by 5. But they do it until the weight feels easy to them.
Okay.
Bodybuilders, again, different styles, but typically hypertrophy range is between 10 and 20 reps, depending on the muscle. So between 10 and 20 reps, which means you should be failing between 10 and 20 reps. For the legs, specifically the quads, hamstrings, and calves, you want much closer to the 20 rep mark.
Okay.
For the, let's say the upper body muscles, it's not entirely accurate, but let's say the upper body muscles, you want closer to 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 for the larger ones like the back. When you're training, and you, like I said, you're doing 10, 10, and 8, next week should be 10, 10, 9, next week 10, 10, 10, next week, bump the weight. Once you're all even across the board, bump the weight. And when I say bump the weight, I'm obviously not referring to 10, 15 pounds if you're doing a 10-pound bicep curl. When I say bump the weight, I might be referring to half a pound.
Yeah.
I might be referring to 1 pound. I'm not talking about a lot of weight. I'm talking about a little weight.
Sure.
Again, it's about levers and percentages. If you're doing a squat, which I don't recommend, if you're doing a squat and you're able to rep out 10 reps of 225, and that's no problem for you, go ahead and add 10 pounds. 5 pounds on each side, make it 235. At that point in time, those 10 reps should be very difficult for you, percentage-wise.
Okay.
If you're doing a bicep curl and it's 10 pounds, and you're able to do 10 reps, percentage-wise, you're only going to want to go up half a pound to a pound. Anything more than that, and as you know, if you're doing it strictly, you won't be able to do it. You'll get 7, 6 reps.
Yeah.
You know, it's too big of a jump.
Yeah, you would think 1 pound is nothing, but
it's a big
if
jump.
it's done properly.
Yes, if it's done
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
There's so many different training styles, but
Yeah.
the general principle is if the weight has either become easy, as in it's too easy for, as in you can complete your reps without too much struggle, or if your weights are systematically going up by at least 1 or 2 reps a week, and then you've hit the edge of the hypertrophy zone, make it whatever that may be, 12 reps, 15 reps, or 20 reps, and you're hitting that 12, 15, or 20, and then you're going up a little bit, okay, well, bump the weight and go back down to the 10 to 12.
Gotcha.
Stay in that range and then bump it up again. And just keep doing that. And this is another thing, I suppose I should talk about this. I don't vary exercises. Again, I don't. I do only the perfect bicep curl. I do only the perfect tricep. We only do the perfect movements. We don't do random movements. If your exercise, if your bicep curl, on a scale of 1 to 10, I tell you that is a perfect bicep curl, that is a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. You're doing everything perfectly. And you're like, I don't think I'm getting the gains that I used to get. Let me try a different one. What do you think about me doing a hammer curl over here on this bicep machine? I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say I think that's about a 6 bicep exercise because your arms in a weird position,
right.
Your resistance angles are kind of weird. It's not as good. But what you're going to say to me? Okay, well I want to change it up so I get more growth. No, no. There's no point whatsoever in varying an exercise if you already have the perfect one. Why would you sacrifice that for a lesser exercise? Right. It's like if you're tanning. When we talk about you tanning, if you're tanning and you're tanning every day for 30 minutes a day, and you do that for 3 months, and you plateau, and you stop getting darker, and this happened to you before, and you told me, and I stopped working, I said, okay, well, here's what you're going to do. Well, no, I'm sorry, this is what you told me. You said, I'm going to go to the tanning bed. My response to that is, okay, why? It's different. It's not the same thing. Sunlight is a perfect way to tan. It's a perfect way to tan. Are you going to use fluorescent light to get different results? Are you going to switch to a black light to hopefully tan the skin in a different spectrum?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's not logical. What you need to do is just take a week off From the sun. Just don't go in the sun for a week. Do nothing. Then go in the sun again. Because the sun is perfect. You can't change perfect. You shouldn't vary perfect you shouldn't vary sunlight to a black light because you stop tanning. It just doesn't make sense. And it's the same thing with exercise. Why would you vary a perfect bicep curl to an inferior one? Why would you do multiple bicep curls? Why wouldn't you just do one till failure multiple times? Why would you do a hammer curl, a bar curl, a crossbar, isolated machine curl? It makes no sense.
It's because you hear a lot of, oh, you got to challenge the muscle.
Could be a muscle confusion. I hear that all the time. I don't know where that came from. I have no idea where that came from. It's a very bizarre concept to me. Your muscle needs to be confused. Again, does your muscle have a brain?
Right.
Is your muscle aware of what's happening around it? No, it's not. It doesn't have spatial awareness. It doesn't have a consciousness. It's a fucking muscle.
Right.
It pulls a bone. Your muscle's only job is to pull a bone.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't need to be confused. It's just a silly concept. You have to do multiple exercises to shock the muscle. And then you'll get people who say things to me like, yeah, well, I did that for 2 months and I got great results. And I'll say, okay, good for you. How do you know you got great results? Well, because my arms got bigger. How do you know? They look bigger. Did you measure them before and after? No, who does that? So you psychologically think they got bigger, is what you're telling me. You don't actually have any idea whether they improved or not. Okay, I don't believe you. Have a good day. Again, you can't argue with science. You can't. There's no reason to sacrifice a perfect exercise for an inferior exercise.
Yeah.
There's no reason. I mean, I could go on about this forever, but we really should probably stop. Any other short questions I can answer?
Nope, that's it. That's all I have.
Let's stop here then, because they go too long sometimes.
Okay.
Well, anyway, thank you, babe. Bye, everybody.